Welcome to highlights of HRZN Racing League Season 5, Round 2 from Qatar. I'm Chris, otherwise known as Screenlight, be taking you through what happened to be a fairly action-packed duel in the desert for Round 2. But let's take a reminder of that calendar before we continue. First round in Bahrain, won by Sandro Wagner in Qatar, obviously Round 2. Emilia-Romagna will take place Round 3 as the first sprint, with China, Britain, Miami, Saudi Arabia, Austria, Portugal and Abu Dhabi still to come, along with a random range. At Round 7, this is the first wildcard event as well. There are no medium tyres in the race, which will make strategy call very important. In Bahrain, Sandro Wagner took the victory by 6.5 seconds from Tommy Ash. Scornful Griffin took third, along with driver of the day. With Real Max World, I'm Your Mate, Senna 17 DRS Time, Mr Pickle, the Scottish, Jimmy Alex, Andy Rudin, and Perpetual F1 claiming the points. And that's how the overall drivers' standings look. The top 12 all claiming those points in round 1. However, looking at all those guys with 0 points, we've got a couple returning tonight. Don't expect those zeros to remain 0 for very long. In Split 1, Tommy Ash took the lead by virtue of his second place, Scornful Griffin taking second, and I'm Your Mate in third. Stix Pompano and WHM Bazza currently staring at demotion, but there's still a long way to go. And in Split 2, Sandro Wagner took the early march there with Real Max World in second. They're looking at promotion, but don't count out the likes of Senna, Mr Pickle, Jimmy Alex, even down to It's Rover and Lil Reeves. Those zeros will definitely not be 0. And in the Constructors, Mercedes taking an early march, 4 points clear of RB. Aston Martin dropping into third, Kick Sauber in fourth. Alpine, the only team yet to score, but again, give it time. So the Losail International Circuit then, Qatar, only joined the calendar in 2021. But let's take a little look around this particular circuit. It's 5.419 kilometres with 16 turns, 10 to the right, 6 to the left. Max Verstappen holds the record currently for most wins with 2, but Lando Norris took the lap record in a Formula 1 car last year, 1:22.384. For Horizon, the Scottish has won both occasions here in Season 2 and Season 3. Expect him to be quick here. But we're heading down into Turn 1, down this 1 kilometre straight. It's a late break and you can keep a little bit of speed, get right on in the curb on the inside and roll it out to the left. Then it is just a constant movement. Left, right, all very quick here. It's a blur of corners, most of which are carried at medium speed until you get to the likes of Turn 6, which we're just heading up to. It's a tight hairpin to the left. Can be an opportunity to overtake there if you get it right. Once again, back into another haze of corners, all of which fairly long radius. You're going to be wearing those tyres out. You can use the curbs quite a lot here. Track limit's fairly strict, but get it just right, you will be able to make some time. Heading out now towards the final section of the lap. This double right hand apex, triple if you include 14, when you get a little bit of a reprieve before turning in. The kink at 15 is certainly one. Again, you can make overtakes at. And then get your braking right for turn 16. Again, a long radius right hander. You can drift the car out to the left hand side, but get that DRS on and head back down the start finish straight. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the Qatar Grand Prix then. I'm Your Mate takes pole with Sandro Wagner second, Scottish up there in third, Scornful Griffin fourth, Vampire fifth, Andy in sixth, Time seventh, Bunny eighth, Senna in ninth, and Stix Pompano in 10th. 11th place goes to Steadfast, Pickle 12th, Lil Reeves 13th, Bazza 14th, Max 15th, Perpetual 16th, Rover 17th, and the RBs joined late and start at the back. One thing to note, the Scottish gets a 30-second penalty for readying up too early, so let's take a look at the action with that penalty hanging over it. Away we go in Qatar. It looks like there's a slow start from an Alpine there. I think that's Bunny dropping to the back. Sandro Wagner, again like last week, has gone straight into the lead. And I'm Your Mate now drops behind Scorn. Bunny was trying to avoid the incidents. I don't think there were any. We've got movers and shakers everywhere. I think we've got cars off in the background. Yeah, we do. Six Pompano. Lil Reeve steadfast as well. Oh no, that's all gone horribly wrong down the back. Andy as well now is off. What's happened to Andy? We'll be picking those up in the highlights, that's for sure, but we've got yellow flags. Let's jump on board with Six Pompano off the start. Gets a really good launch. You notice Bunny's Vengeance there taking avoiding action. Andy going backwards, unfortunately. But then as we get down to turn 1, 6 is right in the middle here. Got the Williams up the inside, the other Haas on the outside. Lil Reeves runs deep into 2, but then the 3 of them collide, taking Steadfast with them. No further action for that one though, just a pure case of bad luck. We'll jump on board with Mr. Pickle for the same incident. Gets a really great start. Finds himself just a little bit of space. Hung out to dry a little on the outside of turn 1, but that's kind of what you expect as you run in 3 wide. Little bump on the way through. Keeps it nice and tidy on the inside, but then you'll see the wiggle, and in the mirror, the car's going sideways. Let's jump on board with WHM Bazza off the start. Really good launch. Finds a nice little bit of tarmac for himself heading into turn 1. Does get a little bit tight here. There'll be a little bit of wheel banging there with Andy, but you'll see the incident with 6 and Steadfast up ahead, and there's not really an awful lot Bazza could do about it. Collects wing damage. Game over. On board now with I'm Your Mate off the line. As the lights go out, gets a huge amount of wheel spin, much like the first race in Bahrain. Very twitchy off the line. Sandro has already been and gone by the time we get to turn 1. You'll then see a big tank slapper allows Scorn through, and it really is then just a case of trying to keep it pointing in the right direction through the first couple of corners. Another start line POV, this time with Tommy. Gets an absolutely brilliant start, moves immediately to the inside to try and take some space, as everybody else is all over the shop ahead of him. Keeps it nice and clean and tidy. Keeps it tight there. Little tap with Andy, but manages to survive in the carnage ahead. Allows him through cleanly. Finally, we jump on board with Andy. Just gets it all wrong there. Clips the curb with the rear. Spins the car. As he's making his way back to the track, Ghosting is on, but whether he's spooked by the Williams there or again just gets on the throttle too early on the curb, spins the car again, finds himself finding reverse and way back down the order. Move everybody, all a lot of incidents going off all at once. But let's move up to the front. Sandro already out and ahead by just over half a second. Tommy up into 9th place. Thanks to the issues everybody else was having. Make that 8th as he moves past Mr. Pickle. Let's jump on board here with Tommy. Very nearly gets into the back of Pickle into turn 6. But there's a nice little queue of cars ahead of him. He starts using the draft as best as he can. As you can hear the chatter amongst the drivers as we run through. Does have Perpetual behind him, but has made some good moves off the start. Pickle gets a little wiggly on exit there, and Tommy guns it down the inside. Makes a nice clean move. What a start. Teammate Jimmy in 13th there, another good one. We've got cars who are surely going to need to pit, because that's a very wide Mercedes there, a Vampire. Bazza and Bunny, let's watch this one. There goes Bunny, up the inside into the final corner. The Scottish is coming in as well. Ooh,
a few people coming in. We've got the Scottish in, Jimmy in, Bunny's Vengeance in, Baz is in. Bazza nearly having the absolute demolition job. He also needs a front wing. Well, I think everybody who's in does. I'm Your Mate seems to be really struggling as the two kick sobers now. Let's ride on board. Soulful Griffin at 24.6. He is flying up ahead. Max has passed Perpetual. Senna and Syme seem to be working together. But we'll keep viewing in the background as I'm Your Mate. Is Senna going to get by? Yes, he is. Really great move. Held it round the outside. Softs versus hards. That might explain why. But I'm Your Mate going to continue fighting at slight tap, but Senna keeps his traction, keeps the car pointing in the right direction. Further back, we've got Tommy going past Vampire. Looks like it's a solid move up into 6.
Back on board here with Tommy, who's making moves up and down the field. This time, trying to chase down Vampire. As you can see, another queue of cars. He gets right up behind the Mercedes before finding the door open. Just about avoids the back of the Sauber ahead.
Sorry, that was understeer.
Here comes the Scottish. Oh, the switchback move as Pickle now gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Beautifully done there by the Scottish. Great move. On the hard tyres now. Syme. Max also moves past Syme. And stay on the rear cam here for just a second as Vampire had another look. So,
we caught the end of that move. Tommy on Syme. We're back with the RB driver. And a fairly straightforward pass using the DRS easily by. Gives plenty of space. And he's past the Sauber, and you can see just in the background Max going for the move as well and making it stick.
Jumping in, that was Mr. Pickle. He's in. As Tommy goes past Senna. Back on the rear view cam for this first corner. Thought Max was going to try and have a go as well. He decided against it. Steadfast past Pickle and it's Rover also in the pits. Jimmy drops to the back. Bunny goes by.
Here is that move by Bunny's Vengeance. Jimmy gets real wide out of turn 6. Bunny switches back nicely. He's got the Aston Martin on the inside, but manages to make it cleanly past by the start of the next corner.
Well, let's see where the battles are at the moment. We've got Max just in behind Tommy. I thought Tommy was going defensive there, but Max goes by him. Are they going to hold it? Tank flapper for Max, but he's okay. Moves into 3rd place. Nicely done. This is currently the biggest battle on track, I think. Scottish Senna, Andy Pickle and Vampire. Scorn goes past Steadfast, or does he actually? They're going side by side out here. And Scorn gets the move done, holds it beautifully there, does the job. That's real heads-up driving. Needed to get past Steadfast quickly, really, to avoid any issues in the pits as the Haas cars swap places.
On board with Mr. Pickle in the inter-team battle of the Haasers. Keeps it nice and tidy through there, and within seconds he's right up behind Andy. Just trying to chase him down through these sweeping corners in the midsection of the lap, but Andy gets a tank slapper and through goes Pickle.
Will Scorn beat Sandro here? This is going to be tight out of the pit lane. Sandro holds the lead, but only just. I say the lead, the net lead, but only just. Pit stops going on all over the field, lap number 10. Scorn didn't quite manage to find a way past. It's going to be all about getting into that position to try and make a move at the end of the lap, a little deep into 6. Just as Sandro's still trying to fire those tyres up.
Back once again with Mr. Pickle, this time hunting down real Max World in the Red Bull. He also gets a bit of a tank slapper off the circuit. Nice easy pass, however, there is a little bit of contact in the mid-corner. Pickle holding it round the outside, and Max just about keeping his nose in front. And then off goes the Red Bull.
The gap down to half a second between Scorn and Sandro, but we'll ride on board with Tommy. We'll get up the inside just as we get onto the start-finish straight. Brilliantly done. DRS as well to run away. There's no reason. It's another 3-second time penalty. They are really stacking up for some drivers. Bunny goes past his teammate a little bit further back. Will 6 go for the move as well? It was late, but he made it. Bit of contact between the two of them, but Rover hanging on in.
On to another inter-team battle here, this time between the two Alpines. Bunny's Vengeance chasing down its Rover. Rover gets a little squirrely on the brakes there, locks up into the final corner, and it's a fairly straightforward DRS pass. Little bit of a wiggle, just trying to dummy his teammate there, but Bunny gets through and is on his way further up the field.
Pit window open for anyone who started on the hard. Bunny went past Perpetual, 6 went past Rover, so the Alpines and the McLarens fighting between themselves at the moment. So he's got the move done there. Go has continued on with those tyres. There's Rover and Lil Reeves a bit further back, switching back and forth. It's still Alpine, McLaren, McLaren, Alpine, Williams, but Lil Reeves now down the inside of Rover. The Scottish now with a 3-second time penalty. Reeves continue this little battle. And they're now starting to drop off the two McLarens and Bunny's Vengeance up ahead. Perpetual in the box seats with that little group at the moment, but just because he's not got a penalty so far. But look at these guys now. They could be having a 3-way tussle through the rest of the lap.
Once again, back with Tommy Ash, this time on Mr. Pickle, post pit stop. Gets it nice and tidy through the final corner. DRS is open, there's very little you can do down this straight against it. Once again, nice and easy. And on his way.
It's hard to catch you, Senna, because you've got the DRS, don't you? Down at this straight. Well, down this straight. Are you on the back of Max?
And we'll go back to the Rover Lil Reeves battle. Rover trying to hang it around the outside, can't quite hold on to it. Staying there with the Williams. Really be able to make a move somewhere else in the lap. They've really lost touch with the little cluster of 3 in front. Ooh, little bump there, just got his braking wrong, but seems to all be okay, no damage. As we see Max getting right up to the back of Senna 17, who moves completely out of the way there. Seemed like he just kind of let him go. 6 Pompano further back, gets past Bunny's Vengeance. Tommy goes past Vampire as well, into turn number 1. Steadfast now with a 3-second time penalty. Or another 3-second time penalty, should I say. As Tommy now, if he can pull away from Vampire and close back up to the guys in front, could really net himself a really great result. Another one as well, after obviously second place last week with a confident and assured performance.
Back on board with the RB of Tommy Ash. Once again, another fairly straightforward DRS pass down into turn 1. This time on Vampire.
Max has gone past Scottish.
Keeps it nice and clean. Vampire tries to hang it round the outside, but he cannot maintain the position. And Tommy, once again, moves forward.
In fact, let's go a bit further back for Tommy because Vampire now going past Rover with another 3-second time penalty. And he just needs to take it steady there, I think, because everybody in front of him, bar Sandro and Scorn, are on time penalties. As we look at the Scottish trying it on with Max, who defends astutely. Tommy, though, further back, goes past Vampire. Nice and easy with DRS. It's getting away. That's kind of seemingly been the issue for a lot of these battles, is getting away in the midfield section of this lap because it is so constant. It is just turn after turn after turn. There's no lap, no opportunity to really pull away. That we're seeing the DRS passes come back around on the start-finish straight. Scorn now has definitely dropped out of DRS. He needs to push it a little harder. Perpetual nets himself a penalty. Scottish has come into the pits here. Trying to work out the numbers. Senna's got a 6-second time penalty here. 4 seconds off Max, who's got a 3-second time penalty. So Tommy, with I'm Your Mate's penalty, Tommy I think could be elevated to 4th by the end of this one, if gaps remain roughly where they are. Scottish pitting. That's a shame. He was looking like he could be in for the fight here, but Sandro has now really broken away from score. 21 of 29. I think Sandro might be on for 2 out of 2 here. Jimmy Alex with another 3-second time penalty as Senna gets real squirrely under power. Let's stay right on board with Tommy here because this could really do him some favours. He finds a way past. Finds a way past Senna really cleanly here. Tommy then gets up the road after Max. He could take a podium. This is crucial, this one, and Tommy should go past him fairly easily, and he does. Vampire, though, is going to follow him. We're going 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, a little bit of contact. Vampire gets a tank slapper. Senna goes back past. Will stay on the rear camera as Andy pulls in.
It's right on board with Senna 17 DRS. You'll see Tommy Ash and Vampire both go by, and then just the smallest amount of contact, bit of a tank slapper for Vampire, but no further action from the stewards. Just enough space for both of them. Just a touch of net code there. We'll see it on board from Tommy's perspective as well. You'll see fairly easy pass on Senna 17, but the double DRS for Vampire. Just as they come into the corner, they are close. But again, it was a closing gap that disappeared quicker than Vampire expected.
Well, I'm Your Mate has caught right up to the back of Scorn on the soft tyre. 23.5, fastest lap of the race. Scorn's dropped off the back of Sandro and is now under pressure from the reigning champion. But with that 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, Pompano gets another 3 seconds. As he falls behind the Scottish, who also gets a 3-second time penalty there. Side by side on the timing screens, but I'm Your Mate now. 23.5 from the Scottish, who's on the soft tyre. He's past 6 Pompano and into the top 10. Little bump there from I'm Your Mate. 2 little bumps. A little bit of a tank slapper. Scorn on the inside. He knows that the time penalty's there. He's just got to stay with the Ferrari now. It goes round the outside and through. A little bit of a bump and run. But again, Scorn just needs to stay near the Ferrari. Let's have a look here. Vampire is going to go for another move. We'll ride on board And he's through this time nice and cleanly. We'll try and come back at him on the inside, but it's done. I'm your mate with another 3-second time penalty. He's going to be sitting way behind at this point. We're on camera, there's Tommy. Back up the inside, what a nice switch back that was. These three now probably fighting for 4th overall, maybe 5th, with I'm your mate's pens.
On board with Tommy for the 3rd or 4th round of this little battle with Vampire. Once again, as we've seen throughout the race, fairly easy DRS pass into turn 1, but Tommy managed to just keep the pace up, gets a real nice line through turn 1, thinks about a move on the outside of 2, but is staying with Vampire perfectly closely, and then a switch back through 3, back down the inside, and retains the position. Vampire tries to hang it around the outside, but again, that corner ever disappearing.
Let's go back to Tommy, Vampire and Senna. These three all together. Vampire goes past Tommy. He'll slot in behind. Tommy again just needs to be sensible here. Doesn't have any time penalties. Doesn't want to be getting anything post-race either. Because that would really ruin what could be another really great result for him. But let's go back up to the front. I'm your mate round the outside. Is there room? Yes, there is. He takes the lead on the road. Is he going to be able to drive away in the last 4 laps on these soft tyres? Stay on board with I'm your mate. He'll go defensive. Sandro's just going to follow him. He's going to go by with ease. Nothing I'm your mate can do there. Cut back to this battle, 5th on the road, but it's going to be all changing at the end of this one as Tommy once again goes for the move into turn 1. Vampire trying to hold it right the outside, won't quite do it, will drop back. Scottish goes past Mr. Pickle further back, right up there again into the final corner. He's going to go past Sandro surely with DRS, easily done. But again, 16 seconds of penalties with a speed in the pit lane as Pickle gets another 3 seconds. Everyone is now, well, pretty much all of this field is now liable for losing places. There's a few that aren't. Tommy being one of them. He's, like I say, just got to be sensible here. Doesn't fight Vampire too hard. 15 seconds as Tommy goes again. Round the outside. 2 into 1 surely can't go here. Vampire keeps himself in the front. Senna just watching this. Let's go on board with Senna actually and just watch this from behind, because I feel like we're going to have some real action as Jimmy gets another 3 seconds right at the back of the field. He's a lap down. Andy goes past Steadfast further back.
That's right, on board with the Haas of Andy Rudin, down in 16th place, but a nice easy DRS pass into turn 1 to move up to 15th past Steadfast, who tries to hang it around the outside, but those soft tyres really giving great effect through turn 1.
Tommy's going to go again on DRS. Jump off board for this one. He should make the pass well before the end of turn 1. He does. Sandro goes to the outside of I'm Your Mate. Will retake the lead as we start the final lap. All he needs to do is see this one through to the end. As Vampire goes back past Tommy. Hold station now. I'm Your Mate now. He wants to finish ahead on the road. He goes up the inside into the final section of the lap. It's going to count for very little in terms of winning this one, but he'll cross the line first on the road, I think. We'll follow Sandro across though, because for the 2nd week in a row, even though he won't finish first on the road, Sandro Wagner will take the victory thanks to penalties for I'm Your Mate. As the unserved penalty gets added, it'll be third place for Scorners. Second place for Scorn. Max gets third. I'm Your Mate slips to fourth. Vampire, I think, is going to not be within that 16 seconds as the Scottish gets another 3 seconds. Tommy finishes fifth. Vampire sixth. Senna seventh.
So that was Qatar. That was round 2 of Horizon Season 5. And this is how it all looks at the end. Sandro Wagner takes the victory with Scornful Griffin second. Real Max World completes the podium. I'm Your Mate falls to fourth after post-race penalties. But Tommy Ash takes fifth and driver of the day. The Scottish takes fastest lap, but outside of the points, so nothing for that. Overall, Sandro Wagner continues at the top by 16 points from Scornful Griffin. Tommy Ash is in third, just 2 points ahead of Real Max World. And defending champion I'm Your Mate sits in fifth. In Split 1, Scornful Griffin takes a 3-point lead over Tommy, with I'm Your Mate a further 7 back in third. 6 Pompano and Bazza remain in the drop zone, but 6 does get points on the board to close up to Bunny's Vengeance. In Split 2, Sandro Wagner continues at the top, a full 14 clear of Real Max World. Senna 17 DRS is just further 6 back. Mr. Pickle as well, further 6 back, but everyone in Split 2 has taken points. And in the Constructors, Mercedes remain at the top, extending their lead to 24 points. All 10 teams now have points on the board, Alpine picking up their first couple, but remaining at the bottom, 2 behind Williams. So there we have it, 2 rounds down and just 9 more to go. Emilia Romagna is next for the first sprint event of the season. Do come back for the highlights for that one. In the meantime, wherever you are, have a great day. Thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe. I'll see you real soon.